you say social worker, oh well, you give out food stamps and you take people's kids. Like
it's just cliche. Like, come on now. Like, it's just not giving. It's not giving. What's going on, family? It's your girl Tyson Moss, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I talk about sexual wellness, fashion, lifestyle, career, entrepreneurship advice. So any of those things are of interest to you, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so you can become a part of the family too. And for my returning viewers, hey family, what's going on? Thank you so much for coming back and clicking on another video from your girl. So today, y'all, we are finally doing a social work Q&A. I feel like it's been a long time coming, but I feel like I got a good enough questions for you guys for this Q&A today. So I might do a part 2 depending on how long-winded this gets or whatnot, because I know people always are steadily asking questions and they want to learn stuff. So if that's something you guys are interested in, make sure you give this video a thumbs up so I know. But anyways, if you guys are ready for today's video, definitely give it a thumbs up as well, and let's get started. All right, kicking it off on one of the first questions. And I also think, it would be a cool idea to just add some people who ask the questions as well. And whatnot. Shout out to everybody that did ask a question. Thank you guys so much. None of this would be possible without you all. So yes, first question is talking about boundaries and self-care. Now, if you guys did not know, if you're new to my channel, I have a whole social work series playlist up here and videos of just different things of me being in the field, and my social work series kind of discusses different topics related to things that we deal with on a daily basis and also in the field as well. And it's crazy because 2 of those videos are in that series, which I have my how to set boundaries with clients video and also my how to practice self-care in this field. So if that is something that you're interested in, the videos will definitely be listed down below so you can get a further in-depth thing of that. But just to briefly sum it up or whatnot to answer this question, I would say setting boundaries is pretty much a way for you to be able to get what you need as well as your clients, because if there's no boundaries in place, there's going to be lines that are constantly going to be crossed. So some of the best ways I feel like you can set boundaries is to be upfront and honest with your client when something initially first happens. So say you're first meeting the client, you want to kind of set those boundaries up that first day, so don't nobody get confused and no misconstrued is under going on or whatnot as time progresses. If you already let people know straight up, hey, these are my hours, please call me around this time, I will not answer my phone after 5 p.m. When it comes to taking you around and things of that sort, I don't mind accompanying you to appointments or other places at times. So when it comes to asking about other people in my car, that is against my company's policy. The only person I'm supposed to have in my car is my client, so I'm not able to do that at this time. You could just make up stuff, to be honest too. Like if you don't want somebody in your car or you don't want to do something, just make it up, lie. Always throw it back on the company. I can't remember where I was last at, but pretty much I think I was talking about like boundaries again. Just always, you could just put it on the company if you don't want to be the bad guy or whatnot. And then as far as self-care, I just feel like with this tip, it's very, very imperative in this field, and just make sure that you are at least giving yourself one thing that you can do for yourself for the week. So like say, promise yourself you're going to get a massage at the end of the week, or you promise yourself you're going to take yourself to the movies. Whatever it is, just give yourself every single week something that you know that you really, really enjoy doing, and you want to be able to just unwind and just unload from the rest of the world. Always just do one thing per week so you can just have something to look forward to give you that momentum to keep going. Okay, the next question is for my girl Glowing Naturally. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to my girl's channel. She's also a fellow social work YouTuber too. She has her master's degree and all this stuff, so she can be able to tell you guys much more knowledge than yours truly or whatnot. But yes, make sure y'all go follow my girl. But she asks your most favorite and least favorite thing about the social work field. So let's start off with a favorite, because let's start off with the good stuff, right? So my favorite thing about the social work field is how diverse it is. I love being able to just feel like if I get tired of doing one thing, it's always going to be something else that I can work on. And I love just being able to impact people's lives in a positive way, because this field is just so beautiful or whatnot. We're very much needed, and I just love being able to just be that impact on somebody, to be like they can look back in their life and be like, wow, I remember this person and I remember what she did for me. And just solely off of that, it just helps them to have that momentum to keep going. So that's definitely my favorite thing about the field. My least favorite thing would have to be how underrated we are, for sure. I definitely feel like We still got some long ways to go. I always say this all the time, but people just don't respect social workers. I feel like they don't understand us. They don't understand our roles. They don't know sometimes what we do or whatnot, except what's broadcasted on TV or whatnot, which I feel like sometimes is giving off a negative aspect of what the field actually is. It's so much more broader and diverse than what people think.
You say social worker, oh, well, you give out food stamps and you take people's kids. Like,
it's just cliche. Like, come on now. Like, it's just not giving. It's not giving. So that definitely would have to be my least favorite thing about the field. Okay, my next question is from my girl, Genevia Mills. Thank you, girl, for asking this question, which I thought was really, really good. And she said, dealing with racism in the work field, and what have you noticed about your clients with the environment that they're in? So let's start off with the first part, to dealing with the racism. To be honest, I have not really dealt with much racism in the field. The company I work for is Black owned, and I have no problem working with people of other races and stuff like that, as long as you respect me and I respect you. But as far as, like I said, having any type of one-on-one situations directly with a client or a colleague, I have never had that experience. So unfortunately, I can't answer that question, but that is a really, really good question. And then to answer that second part, what have I noticed about your clients with the environment that they're in? I've noticed how much that their environment impacts who they are as a person. That pie thing that we learn about in school, person and environment, that mess is real. Okay, like if you grow up in the hood and all you see is shootings and beatings and all kinds of extra stuff, a lot of times that's what you become, or it's difficult for you to get out of that because that is all you see. So you're normalized to it. You think that this is normal, but it's not. And so it takes for somebody to come in and show you something different in order for you to know that, wow, this thing that I grew up thinking was right my whole entire life was not right at all. So hopefully I answered your question as far as that part. And then she asked a bunch of questions, and one the other question was also dealing with race and mental health field. Do you think we are processing as a Black community when it comes to mental health? So I'll answer that first part. Also dealing with race with mental health field. If you're asking as far as like, do I feel like it's a more ethnic group that I see with mental health more? I would say no and yes. I feel like off rip, people always assume that it is of the Caucasian that is more mental health, but it's a lot of Black people struggling with mental health too. And the problem with us is we don't feel like we need to ask for help, okay? You grow up and your parents are all like, oh, you being dramatic, this and the third. When really sometimes your child is going through something, and that is their way of crying out for help. So instead of dismissing their feelings and not really allowing them to talk about what it is that's bothering them, open that door up for them. And if you feel like you can't do it, get your child a therapist. Y'all gotta stop being afraid to get therapists and get your child or yourself the help that you need just because of society's normal things that they want to put out there. So that's to answer that question. And as far as the last part, do you think we are processing as a Black community when it comes to our mental health? I feel like we have a long way still to go with that, but I think that we're getting to a place where we're starting to normalize that it's okay to talk about mental health. Like, it's not such a taboo thing anymore. And I want people to continue to just be open and be honest about how they feel. If you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling sad, if you're not feeling the greatest today, get the help that you need, whether that's through medication, therapy, pretty much, yeah. So whatever help that you feel like you need to get, make sure that you are reaching out for that. All right, another question I have is from Bolmila. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna put your name on the screen because I can't pronounce this. But she asks, are there a lot of job opportunities in the social work field, and how important is it to study further in the social work field? Very good question. Yes, girl, there is so many opportunities in the social work field. If you guys have not seen my what is social work video, I talked about all the different careers and paths that you can choose with social work. You can work in mental health, you can work in jails, you can work in hospitals, you can work in schools, you can work in hospice, as I was saying, and just the list goes on and on and on. So if you're wondering if it's very broad, girl, yes, this is probably one of the broadest career fields you can get yourself into. And I think it's important to further your studies with social work because when you climb the ladder, you make more money, they say. And I do feel like in a sense you can make a lot of money with your bachelor's degree too. But if you want to hit that point where you're making a lot of money, always, I feel like in anything, you want to up your degrees, up your certifications, up your licensure, and all that good stuff. All right, the next question is from my girl P Made Family. She said, why did you choose social work? And what almost made you decide not to go through with being a social worker and what keeps you there. So I chose social work because of the fact that I love to share experiences and be able to help people through my experiences and just ways that I feel like can best help them. So I used to want to be a writer, and I feel like in this field, I'm able to do all of that. I'm documenting, I'm writing, I can still write my books, but I'm also impacting people's lives because I love giving people advice. I love being that person that people can lean on whenever it comes to just any kind of crisis or thing that they're going on in their life. And I feel like I handle things very, very well. So I just feel like I would be a great asset to the social work community or whatnot. So I definitely feel like social work it's in my heart. Okay, it's in my heart. What almost made me not want to be a social worker? I don't know. Like, it was natural to me. Like, everything just flowed one after one after one. Like, when I applied for the program to get in Norfolk State, I never looked back. I never thought about changing my major. Once I got into social work, I just went along with it. After changing my major a couple different times, but it always went back to the same thing. Because at first I was a sociology major, then I was a psychology major, then I was a human services, and then I ended up in social work, which all kind of tie around one another, which is the crazy thing. And that's what I stuck with, social work. And then what keeps me here is just the ability to keep changing lives. Like, it's a very fulfilling field to be in, to be able to know that you impacted somebody. So that's gonna always keep me here, being able to just change the world one person at a time. All right, y'all, the next question is from my girl Holly Williams. She said, burnout in the field, different types of levels of social work, life balance as a social worker. And she said, I'm loving Vlogmas. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you so much. Your girl been going through it, but I've been still pushing through. So shout out to myself for that. Burnout in the field is real, okay? I've definitely experienced this quite a few times, actually, where I wanted to leave the job that I'm actually at right now. It was a situation that occurred with one of my clients, and she had did something. I ain't gonna go into detail about it, but it really, really irritated me. And I brought the issue up to my boss, and I feel like she kind of didn't handle it in a way that I would have wanted, and I got upset, and that really, really made me want to leave the job. But, you know, we got over it and stuff like that. But burnout is real. Like, when you find yourself, like, you getting up and you just like, oh my God, I don't even want to go to work today. You ain't stepped out the house yet. You're tired. You don't even feel like you're doing your best. You're running behind on your notes, all different kind of stuff. It happens. It definitely does. My best tip is, like I said, to always practice self-care. Always to give yourself a break. When you find yourself in that burnout, definitely go on a break. That's time for you to go on a break. That is a huge sign that you need a break. Okay, so the different types of levels of social work is the micro level, which is the one-on-one, the most used one in the field. That's when you're working with a client on a direct basis. Hey y'all, I'm just popping in real quick. I made a mistake and I repeated myself with the micro, meso, and macro. So I'm just going to add this part in or whatnot, because as I was recording the video, I had a lot going on. So y'all forgive me. And then the last question, how do I have the work balance as a social worker, is I take a vacation when I need to take one, okay? When it's time for me to unwind, which is a little difficult with my job because sometimes I have to bring my work home, doing the notes and stuff. I definitely try to like, all right, I'm gonna give myself like an hour to like watch YouTube or whatever it is I like to do, and then I'll get my work done. And then on the weekends, I try to get everything done on the weekdays so I can have my weekends to do whatever I want to do or whatnot. So that's how I balance mine, just making sure that I get all my stuff done during the week so I can be able to unwind on the weekends. All right, y'all, and the last question is the pay ranges for Maria Scrapbook. Shout out to you, girl. Pay ranges for QMHP A and C in Virginia, dealing with clients who are sometimes overbearing, flirting, etc. The disadvantages of being hourly when your clients cancel and you don't get paid. Your girl can't play with the questions, honey. All right, so let's start off with the first one as far as the pay range. So I looked it up or whatnot. It says, according to ZipRecruiter, the salaries can be as high as $55,299 as far as a QMHP, which I can definitely account to that because I have, well, I ain't gonna tell my business, but just know I'm making some decent money with a bachelor's degree. So I can definitely count as that, and you can get as low as $28,383. It ranges between, you know, I guess your years of experience, and of course if you're actually have your license, because sometimes you might start off as a QMHPT, which is a trainee or whatnot, but of course with more experience and things of that sort, you climb up the ladder as far as your pay range or whatnot. So I don't think that's a pretty bad thing to have as far as if you're starting out in the field and you're at the bachelor's degree level. I think that's a pretty decent pay rate or whatnot. And then as far as the other question that my girl asked, she said dealing with clients who are overbearing. I shut that down. At first I was very like hesitant and nice and I'm trying to be. No, you got to shut it down. You got to let people know that you're stern. Matter of fact, it's crazy. I had a situation happen recently where I was at a client's house and his cousin was over there, and I guess he looked at my ring to see if I was married. He was like, "Oh, I see it's not a ring on your finger." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't know that that was the topic of discussion, but you know, I'm not here to really talk about my personal life. I'm here to you know, talk to whatever my client's name about whatever it is they have going on." So I shut it down completely. I changed the subject, and I'm not doing it in a rude and a nasty way, but I'm letting this person know like, "Hey, these are my boundaries, and I would hope that you respect them so you don't get in between." Because I'm a very nice person, and sometimes it comes off as maybe people are thinking the wrong impression, and that's what you never want to give off. So if anything makes you just feel uncomfortable, just try to shut it down as soon as you see it. Like, "Oh, you look really nice today. Thank you so much." Boom, change the subject. "Okay, so today we're going to be talking about," don't even give them a chance to even go into detail about, "Oh, well, you always look nice." No. We're going to change the subject before you even go that route. And then the last is the disadvantage of being hourly when your clients cancel is that is definitely frustrating. That's one of the biggest things that actually frustrates me about QMHP work or whatnot, because yeah, if you don't go see your client, you don't get paid. So in that sense, it's kind of like, I guess you would say you want to have different avenues to make money. That's why, you know, your girl is always hustling, hence my YouTube channel, got my skincare little business or whatnot. So I just always trying to find different ways to have money flowing in, because I just feel like nowadays you can't rely on one income to get it rolling. If it showed us anything, it should have showed us to not just rely on one source of income, because it's just not going to get you where you need to go nowadays. And with everything up in the air like this, you want to have something reliable. So hopefully I answered your question, girl. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for my first social work Q&A. You guys asked some great questions. I appreciate y'all so much. I hope you guys found some of these answers insightful and helpful. If you made it all the way to the end of this video and you still subscribed to the family yet, what are you waiting on? Click on that red subscribe button down below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and let me know down below if you guys want a social work part 2 Q&A. I'll definitely get that rolling out for you guys in 2022. But until next time, y'all, you already know, I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.